All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. And Eddie Hearn is saying that Oleksandr Usyk may be looking to set his WBO mandatory at heavyweight to the side and fight Dereck Chisora. They started to warm up to that idea. Let's talk about it. We back. Goodfellas Sports TV, your boy CJ Goodfellas. And I think this is a dangerous fight for Usyk. All right. But it may be a dangerous fight that's needed to be prepared to get ready for Joshua Ruiz, Fury, Wilder, etc. Okay, Dereck Chisora is a limited fighter, but one thing that we know about Dereck Chisora is that he cagey, he tough, and he gonna bring it. He ain't gonna be no Chaz Witherspoon. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is a tough fight for Usyk. Could be a physically grueling fight for Usyk, where he might get hit to the body, he might get hit to the hip, and I think Chisora's tenacity can kind of show some things about Usyk. And I believe Chisora is limited to the point where he might not put Oleksandr Usyk in the complete danger zone. It's kind of like a good step-up fight. You know what I'm saying? To let, a prospect know that he's ready for maybe a championship fight, maybe an upper echelon contender. And what I mean by that is a guy that really can push him, but, if it get really, really tough, the young fighter can still outskill him and outwit him. Now, you have situations where, some prospects step up to the championship level and, they can't outskill and outwit or just, out-talent the champion because the champion is just as talented and they stepped a little bit too far out their truth. Now, for Usyk, that fight might be Kanauki. That fight might be a Luis Ortiz if he wasn't fighting Wilder. You know what I'm saying? That fight could be, I'm someone just not champions, but championship level fighters. That fight can be a Fury, it could be a Wilder, it could be an AJ, it could be a Ruiz. You know what I'm saying? Those could be those type of fights for him. Chisora, I believe, is good enough to test him, good enough to prepare him, good enough to test his wind, good enough to test his punch resistance. But he's also flawed enough for Oleksandr Usyk to be able to outwit him and eke away with a victory. I don't see Usyk stopping Dereck Chisora at this right now, but maybe adding a little bit more weight, maybe working on power, maybe working on sitting on his shots a little bit more. Maybe he could get him out there. Now, my preference is always to over-prepare. It's better to over-prepare than not be ready. And that's kind of my bugaboo in boxing when guys step up prematurely and they haven't prepared themselves. But that's been a new thing of boxing. It's hard to prepare when you're only fighting once and twice a year. It's hard to get that experience. So a lot of the preparation is done in the gym. But at the end of the day, what was put to me is that Usyk is not going to get a title shot next. No matter what. They're not going to make Ruiz choose between the WBO or AJ choose between the WBO IBF. They're going to take their chance. They're going to take their turn. So AJ Ruiz will have to fight Puev by end of May 30th, I think it is. And then they will fight Oleksandr Usyk. So once again, if Usyk is the mandatory, you know what I'm saying? Why would he give, and Eddie Hearn, you just got to put two and two together. Eddie Hearn be lying. If Usyk is the mandatory, why would he even think about fighting Dereck Chisora? You know what I'm saying? If you really think you the baddest man on the planet, you think you could beat Wilder, you think you're ready for AJ Ruiz, I'm not putting my mandatory on the line. Dereck Chisora is dangerous. Especially in the UK, he's dangerous. Where they let them do whatever the fuck they want to do sometimes. With the refs and the PIDs and all that other stuff. I think if Usyk feel that he's ready for a shot and he can get a mandatory shot, especially if somebody vacate the belt because they mandated to fight Puev next, then why not go get a vacant belt? That's because Eddie Hearn lying. This dude got to take another fight because he not getting a mandatory shot next. Puev is, and then he'll get his mandatory shot. But I think he need another fight at the division. I think Dereck Chisora is a good litmus test for him. You know what I'm saying? Got to hit harder than Chaz Witherspoon. He been in there with better competition. He younger, more spry than Chaz Witherspoon. He going to be in shape. And it wouldn't surprise me if Dereck Chisora upsetting him. Ain't nobody willingly going out their way to fight a tough rookie guy like Dereck Chisora to give up a mandatory shot at a world title. Come on, Eddie Hearn lying. They don't have a mandatory shot next. The preference is going to be the IBF, then the WBO. So Usyk has to take another fight next, or he can wait. He can wait until, AJ Ruiz fight Puev. And then after Puev, he can wait all the way until like September, October, November, December of 2020 and get his shot. But at the end of the day, in the year of upsets and going into a new decade, excuse me, it wouldn't surprise me if Dereck Chisora, came up with the dub. Chisora tough. Usyk is going to really have to put him down. Or he going to really have to outbox him. You know how hard it is to outbox on this level for 12 rounds? So, you know what? Dereck Chisora got to come in with a seek and destroy attitude. You know what? He can revive his career like that. Regis Progress said, I don't know why you ain't the main event because you never been a world title champion. You never had a world title. He can change that. He can change that. A win over Oleksandr Usyk, a WBO mandatory, put you right in there with Wilder, with AJ, even if AJ lose, or Ruiz, even if Ruiz lose, in the Fury sweepstakes. But to get technical, Usyk is going to have to get Chisora respect. I don't think he can just sit there and outbox this dude and just run around the ring for 12 rounds. This dude rough, he tough, he rugged, and he ain't got shit to lose. So Usyk had to sit there and not just pity pat, roll out. He got to sit there and deliver some bombs to get respect. Because if he don't get respect, it's going to be a long, hard 12 rounds. It's going to be a long, hard 12 rounds with him trying to cut the ring, with him trying to, keep Chisora from cutting the ring off. Him trying to counter Chisora. Him having to hold Chisora. It may be to a point where he might go through a war with Chisora. He may never be a fresh heavyweight again to challenge Wilder. He may never be the same fighter. So this is a very, very dangerous fight from the physicality standpoint, from, just the human standpoint where you can get hurt. You can really get hurt in this fight. But then again, is he, if he can't, blow out Dereck Chisora, how can you say he ready for Wilder? How can you say he ready for Anthony Joshua? How can you say he ready for Andy Ruiz? How can you say he ready for Luis Ortiz? How can you say he ready for those guys? So I think it's a good test. I think it's a good test, but he gonna have to get his respect. And if he don't get his respect, he gonna be fighting Dereck Chisora in the phone booth. And, however old he is, he gonna be 3 or 4 years older. It's gonna take some years off his career fucking with Chisora. Chisora, tough, cagey, dirty, rough dog in there. This ain't one of them fights you just take and say, I'm fighting Chisora. Stay busy fight. This ain't no Chaz Witherspoon. If you want to stay busy fight, shit, call up Dominic Brazil. Dominic Brazil was calling out, I think he was calling out Kanauki the other day. I said, you just got knocked out by Wilder. Don't you think you want to take it easy? I forget who he's calling. It was either Kanauki. I think it was Adam Kanowski. And I said, you might want to take it easy, man. You see what happened to Artur Spilka. He came back versus Kanowski, and he got stretched. And Brazil was indicating that, I think he was talking about Kanauki was ducking him. So, hey, you might want to just take it easy, Dominic Brazil. If I'm Oleksandr Usyk, I'll fight Brazil before I fight Dereck Chisora. At least he coming off a knockout. Get knocked out. But hey, we gonna have to see with Oleksandr Usyk. I like to see that fight. I'm an interested spectator. That's a tough one. If he can blow out Dereck Chisora, then yeah, put him up there. Put him up there with Wilder. Put him up there. I'm not saying that Chisora is Wilder, but if he can blow him out, man, that mean he got enough power to compete with any heavyweight out there. But let me know what y'all think about a potential Usyk and Chisora fight. But I do think Eddie Hearn is lying about his mandatory status, and I heard he was. He's going to have to wait his turn to late 2020 after AJ Ruiz, whoever win, deal with Kubrat Puev for the IBF. But hey, it's Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business question, card response, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Appreciate the love, support, and appreciate it. Just keep sharing. I'm gonna keep putting it down, And check out our playlists. We got a ton of them. One time for the one time, we gone.